inside your head, he said to me, the answer is easy if you take it logically. I'd like to help you in your struggle to be free. There's only 7 steps to stop your taxes. He said, it's really not my habit to intrude. Furthermore, I hope my meaning won't be lost or misconstrued. But I'll repeat myself at the risk of being rude. There's only 7 steps to stop your taxes. 7 steps to stop your taxes. You just study the law, Mom. Do not confess, Bess. There's no need to fear, dear. Just get yourself free. Listen to me, Lee. You don't need to discuss much. To Congress you write, white, and get yourself free. Read the guarantee deed. Join the freedom plan stand. Then spread the word, gird. Just listen to me. Study the law, Pa. Don't you confess, Bess. There's no need to fear, dear. Just get yourself free. He said, it grieves me so to see you in such pain. I wish there was something I could do to make you smile again. I said, I appreciate that. So would you please explain about the 7 steps? He said, why don't you read up on it tonight? And I believe that by the morning you'll begin to see the light. Then he hung up and I realized he was probably right. There's only 7 steps to stop your taxes. 7 steps to stop your taxes. Study the law, Mom. Do not confess, Bess. There's no need to fear, dear. Just get yourself free. Listen to me, Lee. You don't need to discuss much. To Congress you write, white, and get yourself free. Read the guarantee deed. Join the freedom plan stand. Then spread the word, gird. Just listen to me. Study the law, Pa. Don't you confess, Bess. There's no need to fear, dear. Just get yourself free. The problem is all inside your head, he said to me. The answer is easy if you take it logically. I'd like to help you in your struggle to be free. There's only 7 steps to stop your taxes. He said, it's really not my habit to intrude. Furthermore, I hope my meaning won't be lost or misconstrued. But I'll repeat myself at the risk of being rude. There's only 7 steps to stop your taxes.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another session of Freedom Law School's Freedom Hour. I am Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. I have openly not filed and paid any federal income taxes for over 30 years. I'm here to empower you to live free like I have been with confidence. The topic tonight is 1040 income tax confession trap forms. Are they a trap or not, and why? People think, oh, Peymon, I know you write about the law. You show the law from U.S. government's official legal websites that no law requires me or the people of the 50 states to file and pay any federal income taxes. But I still am going to do the same thing. I believe that filing an IRS 10 for income tax form is the safe way to avoid the IRS audits and keep myself and out of prison and safe. I know that's what your CPA, tax attorney, TurboTax, H&R Block, and the media has told you for years or decades. But the truth is, they deceived you to put the rope around your own neck by doing that. Yes. When you sign out 1040 form, you literally give IRS, they put the rope around your neck and give the lever to the IRS to click and hang you. As unbelievable it is, I will show it to you. Now, this is a bit longer, complete presentation. If you don't have that much time, in the description below, you'll see the shorter, abbreviated presentation. Watch that first to give you flavor, because in this one, I'm going to give you really the full, detailed punch that you want to know and learn. So remember, if you don't have time on your drive to and from work, washing dishes, whatever passive activity, put this on, listen, watch, know it safely, and you're going to be knowing the truth and empowered for yourself. So here we go, okay? So you need to think again, folks, because you unwittingly increase significantly your chances of start all over. Okay, I guess we have to start all over. All right, folks, we'll start all over. That's okay. We have a little technical issues. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm gonna start all over from a 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do that, okay? All right. Ready? Here we go. Hello, my truth and freedom-loving friends. I am Peymon Mottahedeh, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996, and for over 30 years, I have openly not filed and paid any income or payroll taxes, and I've taught other people like you to do the same and no longer be a slave but a free man or woman instead. In this presentation, I will share with you the facts, whether the filing a 1040 income tax confession trap form is a safe thing to do or not, and why. Because I know many of you have watched step 1 on our website that shows follow the law at freedomlawschool.org, that based upon U.S. government's official legal websites, not my opinion, but their own official legal websites, no law requires the people of the 50 states like you and me to file and pay any federal income taxes. But still, people think this. Many of you still believe that filing an IRS 1040 income tax form is a safe way to avoid IRS audits and keep you out of prison. Well, that's a lie. I'll show it to you. You need to think again, and in this presentation, it's my job to help you think again. So the fact of the matter is, folks, you do put the rope around your own neck when you sign that 1040 income tax confession trap form and to give the lever to the IRS to pull and hang you with, okay? So you need to know that you unwittingly increase your chances of going to prison for taxes when you sign under penalties of perjury that your 1040 form is true, correct, and complete. You will see in this presentation that the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone, and I know that's what you want, for the IRS to leave you alone. But the safest way to do that is what? Is for you not to file any 1040 income tax confession trap forms, okay? Now, let's go down and show you the form, okay? You see, when you sign an IRS Form 1040 income tax confession trap form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. You don't believe me? Well, look at this. Here's a 1040 form in front of you. You see where it says sign here on the big print? Did your tax attorney, CPA, accountant, TurboTax, or H&R Block ever tell you what is that little fine print next to it above your signature line? What does that say? What does it mean? They did not explain that to you, did they? Because I think if they did, you would have never signed that form in the first place. It says, under penalties of perjury, you declare that everything on this form and the attached paperwork and schedules that may be there is complete and true and correct in every single way. And if it is not true, correct, or complete, you will go to prison. Not the tax preparer. Yes, he kept the financial accounting records. He filled it out, but you go to prison. Okay? Isn't that crazy or what? And look at this. On line 37, you say, this is the amount that you owe. Yes. You say your amount that you owe under oath. So you must owe it. That's why IRS always pressures you, along with the corrupt major media and their henchmen, your tax attorney, CPA, accountant, who are ignorant of the law. They sell you down the road. What they do is help you put the rope around your neck and give it to the IRS to pull whenever they want to. So let's continue on this. Okay. The fact is, folks, when you file a 1040 income tax form or any federal tax form, you give up your right to your most private and sensitive information to the IRS. Okay? The IRS can then use these documents as evidence against you in a court of law, which can then force you to prove all expenses, deductions, and credits that you claim on your tax form. And if you cannot prove such expenses, deductions, and credits, you will end up paying a lot more money to the IRS, or even be sentenced to lengthy prison sentences. Yes. Here, folks, look at this. You see here, you risk being charged with 3 separate tax crimes for each 1040 tax form that you sign and file with the IRS, or you let your CPA tax attorney do it for you. Attempting to evade or defeat a tax or tax evasion for 5 years. And you can click on it, folks, on the law. Click on this. You see the law right there for yourself. You see, I'm not making this up. Okay? You can read all these laws for yourself. I'm not making any of this stuff up. Okay? You can go to prison in addition for filing of fraudulent and false statements. 3 years in the can. There's more. They could charge you in addition another year of prison for filing fraudulent return statements or other documents. So, in conclusion, you risk going to tax prison for up to 9 years for each year you file a 1040 or any other tax form with the IRS. So, if your accountant, CPA, tax attorney made the same mistake for 5 years, 5 times 9, you can go to prison for 45 years for just 5 signatures on a document that he or your trusted CPA, tax attorney, tax professional prepared for you and made you believe that's a safe thing to do. Take the job. Do as I tell you. I'm the doctor. I'm the tax expert. You know me. Don't listen to those crazy people that tell you don't file pay income tax. Right? So, let's continue on, folks. Now we're going to talk about crypto. Some of you have crypto. Yes, if you have crypto, folks, you have to answer on the front page of the form the crypto trap question about digital assets that ask you at any time during the year, did you in any way, sell any crypto or anybody gave you crypto? And you have to say yes or no. If you say yes to a crypto question, guess what? You should be nervous, like this cartoon character, because you put yourself on the IRS's audit list voluntarily. The IRS is hammering crypto tax return filers with audits because the IRS knows how expensive and difficult figuring out the cost basis of your crypto sales is. So the IRS can tax you on your entire gross crypto sales and transfers, hurting you big time in the pocketbook. Now, if you say no, lie, hey, it's none of their business, they should know about whatever I got on my crypto, I just won't tell them. Well, guess what? You should be nervous. Just like this guy in this cartoon, okay, who can go to prison because you just lied under oath. Penalties of perjury, which could land you in tax prison for 3 separate tax crimes you seen above, including tax evasion for up to 9 years for every 1040 form on which you lied about not having sold any cryptocurrency. The only way to avoid the trap is simply do not sign a 1040 form. That solves the problem. The only way to avoid this trap they got for you, you are done. Either yes or no is to simply do not fill out the 1040 income tax form at all in the first place. You see, folks, you should know this. You give up your Fifth Amendment constitutional guaranteed right to be silent and not give any information to the government that they could use to put you in prison. That's right. The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says that no person shall be compelled or forced in any criminal case to be witness against himself, okay? And even any civil case situations, you give any information in like tax forms that would furnish a link in a chain of evidence or information that could be needed to prosecute you of a federal crime, like a federal tax crime, folks. This is not my opinion. There's a Supreme Court in a case of Hoffman versus United States that said that, okay? Now, by contrast, if you do not file a 1040 income tax confession trap form, there is a far less chance, okay, of going to prison, that you'll see in step 3, that the IRS may charge you with willful failure to file a tax return under Section 17303, which carries only a potential 1-year prison sentence, folks. And that's nothing. 1 year compared to 9 years, okay? And the 1 year for non-filers, Freedom Law School makes that a 0, folks. That's right. We make a 0 out of that by following our petitions to Congress, which I'll show you later on, okay? So check this out, folks. This, you see, this woman in front of you was a judge. U.S. tax court judge, Diane L. Krupa. She was charged with various tax crimes because she filed multiple 1040 income tax confession forms, believing that's the thing I do. I gotta pay my fair share and put the rope around my neck. Well, guess what? As a result, she was charged with multiple tax crimes, okay? Now, she knows more than your accountant, your CPA, your tax attorney about tax law. She's the judge of taxes. Yet, she did not even try to put up a defense and go to trial. Instead, she pled guilty to reduce her sentence to only 34 months. Because she was looking at going out of prison potentially for about 20 years. So 34 months is a good deal. Remember, filers face heavy, stiff prison sentences. So, you want to do better than her? Don't file. Can your attorney do better than her? I don't think so. Folks, and look at this right here. I'm not making this up. This is her case. Forbes magazine talking about Judge Krupa. His article came out April 2016. And here's the CBS News reporting on Judge Krupa in June of 2017. So none of this stuff is made up by me. These are facts, folks, okay? Now, so let's now go to this guy you see in this picture named Joe Bannister. He was a former special agent with the IRS's Criminal Investigation Division, or CID, who became a student of Freedom Law School in 1997 and published a book exposing IRS's deception on the American people that do not owe the income tax at all. He said, it's a fraud. You've been deceiving us, the IRS. He quit the IRS in 1999 to expose IRS's scam on American people. And folks, his website is right here. agentfortruth.com. You can check out Mr. Joe Bannister, his credentials, his videos, everything, a lot more here if you want to, okay? Feel free to do so. And so here's what Joe Bannister told me when he quit the IRS. I remember back in 99, I said, Joe, please give me that statement. I'm going to put it on our website for American people to know. He said, quote, whenever at CID we wanted to go after somebody to put him in prison, one of the first things that we did as a standard procedure was to request a copy of that person's previously filed tax returns so that we could use the information on those tax returns against them. Yeah. The information you gave to the IRS could someday on the tax returns could be used against you. You gave it to them voluntarily. He said also, Mr. Bannister, however, when I wanted to talk to somebody about investigating him, and of course I would have to gather information from him about himself that I may use against him, I had to tell him that he had the right to remain silent and give me no information, even though I wanted to ask him questions. So what's the difference when you give the information to the IRS to a criminal investigation division agent like Joe Bannister orally, or give it in a written form on the 1040 form to the IRS? It's the same, and they use it against you. Okay? Now, let's continue, and you see that is why. The fact is, we got the IRS's data book that shows over 93% of the people the IRS puts in prisons are actually filers. That's right. It's a myth that if you don't file, you go to prison. It's a filers who the IRS and their accountants, CPA, tax attorneys have deceived to put the rope around their neck of the 1040 form and give it to the IRS. They're the ones that actually go to tax prison. So this chart shows the results of IRS's numbers from 2015 in the top right to 2021. Combined all tax prosecutions by CID. On the bottom part is non-filers. Non-filer was actually in a separate page. I kind of put it right here with the combined results for all prosecutions, filers and non-filers, so you can see and compare and contrast how many more people, a lot more, that put in prison that are filers versus a small amount of non-filers IRS put in prison, even though there's 80 million non-filers, according to IRS's best numbers. So you see in 2015 on the top right of the column, look at the highlighted areas. Unsentenced, 3,092 people circled went to tax prison. Sentence. On the bottom right, non-filers, sentence was only 167. So you see, over 2,900 filers went to prison, but just almost all of them. Look at your 2018, okay, in the middle. Sentence for all tax cases was 2,111. At the bottom center, non-filers, only 104 people. So over 2,000 filers were put in prison versus about 100 non-filers. Look at 2021 in the top left area, and on the circular part in the middle, 1,268 filers were sentenced to prison. At the bottom, only 88 non-filers were sent to prison. Again, almost 1,100 filers went to prison versus less than 100 non-filers. So folks, this is their own numbers, their own documents, okay? It was hidden in plain sight. And Freedom Law Schools is bringing it to you so you have confidence with knowledge and wisdom. Let's continue, folks. Again, remember, there's about 80 million non-filers I told you. In step 3, we covered that. The number of filers was about 168 million in 2023. So 1 out of 3 Americans doesn't file, 2 out of 3 does file. So it's far safer to not file than file. Another thing you should know, IRS is absolutely reliant on you to voluntarily agree to be a tax slave by filing a 10 for income tax confession form and admitting that you owe the IRS money. It's right here. These 2 former IRS commissioners, heads of the IRS, in this Bloomberg article, okay, they tell it to you as it really is. There's a quote from the most important part of the article. What's critical here is that substantially all of the revenue increase of the IRS does not come from IRS audits. Oh no. There's way too many Americans to audit them, even a small percentage of them. Substantially all of the money comes from taxpayers who've been suckered when they file their tax returns. That's how they raise almost all the money that way. That's what they say, okay? So that's why there's a pressure by the corrupt major media and your accountant, CPA, tax attorney to get you to file, because that's how they make money for the corrupt deep state, okay? Now, here, this part is going to get a little bit longer because I'm going to cover, you see here, risks and benefits of filing IRS 10 for income tax confession form or not filing a 10 for income tax form, okay? It's going to take a little bit longer to go through this section, but I'll go through it for you because it'll be absolutely amazing what you'll see for yourself. Let's go to risks of filing 1040 tax forms in red, okay? You give up your right to be silent and not give any information to the government that they can use against you voluntarily. You sign under oath, penalty of perjury, same as if you are before a judge and a jury, that everything on the 10 for income tax confession form is true, correct, and complete. You cannot change your mind or appeal your confession that you owe the IRS money. It's cast in stone when you say it under oath. You beg the IRS to accept all your business expenses, deductions, credits, and other breaks that you claim on the 1040 income tax confession form. You also give them permission to audit you. Without a tax return, there's nothing to audit. There's nothing to check to make sure it's correct. You put the burden of proof on yourself to prove all of the expenses, deductions, credits, and other breaks that you claimed on your 1040 income tax confession form. You will have to hire an accountant, CPA, and or tax attorney and pay them unknown amounts of large money, potentially, to try to keep the IRS from coming after you for more money and you ending up owing the IRS and IRS taking your stuff. You may lose audit, end up owing the IRS more tax penalties and interest. And you tell the IRS where your bank account is, your crypto, your investments, home, business, and properties all listed for the IRS to come in, steal them if they want it, because you told them on your 1040 income tax confession form. But there's more. If the IRS decides to put you in prison, you will have to pay a lawyer hundreds of thousands of dollars or more to defend you. Okay? If he knows what he's doing at all. And he can't defend those 1040 forms anyways. It's very hard to do. And if the IRS tries to put you in prison and there's an error on your 1040 form, whether it is the fault of your accountant or tax preparer or tax attorney, you have to prove that the mistake was inadvertent and not an attempt by you to evade your fair share of taxes. Oh, there's more. Yeah. No, I think we covered that. Okay, we got that. Now, let's cover the risk of not filing 1040 income tax confession forms, okay? Folks, the risks are none when you join our Restore Freedom plan, okay? They come after very few non-filers, criminally or civilly, for money. And Freedom Law School will make it zero if you join our Restore Freedom plan. 100%, I'll come back to that later on, okay? Let's continue now to benefits of filing 1040 tax forms. I can't think of any. What benefit is it to you when you say under oath, oh, IRS, all your money. IRS, put the rope around my neck. I'm a slave. I don't want to do it, master. I hate being a slave. Under oath saying, master, I only owe you this much. And please, don't audit me, master. Go after some other slave who filed a 1040 tax form. Because I just do it because I believe I'm told by my tax lawyer, CPA accountant, I have to. It's a safe thing to do. I don't understand the Internal Revenue Code, the tax laws, and I want to do a safe thing. Please don't check out my expenses, credits, deductions, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm relying on TurboTax, HR Block, the CPA, the tax attorney. I hope and pray they know what they're doing, because I'm just signing this piece of paper. I don't want to be a slave. Folks, that's what they deceived you into doing, become a voluntary slave. Okay? Now, let's talk about benefits of not filing income tax form. This is going to be a long list. Be prepared, because there's great benefits when you don't file a 1040 income tax confession trap form, especially if you join our Restore Freedom plan voluntarily. If you choose, it's your choice. Okay? If the IRS ever comes after you with our Restore Freedom plan, Freedom Law School will prepare all the proper responses, hire any CPAs or attorneys that may be necessary to defend you, and guarantees, yes, we will guarantee that you will stay out of prison by following the law as written on the U.S. government's official legal websites, and quadruple checked with your congressman, with federal lawmakers, to make sure that you've done it right. If you end up losing a tax case and the IRS takes money from you, maybe we mess it up, Freedom Law School. Freedom Law School will reimburse you in full. You lose nothing. You have no risk. you have none of the risks of filing 1040 income tax confession trap forms, and your money and your hard work, instead of going to the fund, the corruption and criminality of the Washington, D.C. swamp gangsters, is going toward restoring freedom, peace, and prosperity for all Americans. It's actually pretty simple, okay? If that's what you want, it's a choice that you got to make. I cannot make that choice for you. You got to let your thinking to be done. Do not let the fear they programmed in your heart for years and decades to get you. Do not let your CPA tax attorney who says, I know the law. Don't listen to these guys. Let him keep suckering you, make money off of you, putting the rope around your neck. It's at the end your choice to use the knowledge to be free or remain a slave, because all these years you've been enslaved, you'll do it again and again and again because you're used to it. Now, let's continue on, okay? The Internal Revenue Code jungle is so complex that many CPAs and tax specialists disagree about what information should go on your 1040 income tax confession form. And by signing under penalty of perjury, you're the one that goes to prison for up to 9 years for each 1040 form that they make their mistakes on. The article, folks, is an old article from Money Magazine. I'm sure it's going to blow you away, okay? So this article it's coming up, okay? This was done like over 20 years ago, and multiple accountants, okay, have, were given the same scenario of this family's tax situation, and all these multiple accountants came up with different answers. How can it be? These are professionals. These are CPAs, certified public accountants. They all give you different tax amount you owe. What does that mean? That means maybe only at most only one of them could be right, and the rest of them are all false and are setting you up to go to tax prison for up to 9 years for each signature that they had you put on that 1040 income tax confession trap form. Yep. So doing this thing, folks, is something that I cannot protect you. The fact of the matter is, in fact, all of these 1040 forms by the CPAs that Money Magazine had, they all could be wrong. None of them, maybe they all could be wrong. In fact, I remember Joe Bannister told me in the case he did one time. He was putting this guy in prison, this former IRS special agent. He said that the version of the guy's accountant sounded reasonable to me, and the IRS employee went on the stand and said, no, it should have been done this way. And the judge told the jury that the IRS employee had the right way and your accountant was wrong. That's right. The crooked judges can do that, and will probably do to the version your accountant or tax attorney told you to do. So there's no protecting yourself when you file these 1040 forms. So look at this, folks. This is the article from Money Magazine in 1988. It's a lot more complex now, okay? We're going to put this nicer looking version of this article on our website very soon, okay? So you can read it better, but this is what's on the archives out there, okay? So you have rights. You have power. The America's founding fathers wrote the U.S. Constitution to protect your rights and your freedoms, folks. At the end, folks, it's up to you to defend your rights and your freedom, okay? Don't give your power away or rights away to the IRS by filing 1040 income tax forms, okay? You have more power than you realize. In this presentation, at the bottom of this step 2, I'll go over all the rights to due process of law, to trial that you have, that you give up when you sign a 1040 form and admit under oath that you owe the IRS money. Okay? The IRS is weak, and you're powerful if you don't file, if you do not put the rope around your neck. So with that, folks, what you need to do after this is to go follow along to the other steps. Step 3 is about how IRS is a big myth to bluff you. I don't have the time to get into that, but study step 3. But I do want to take you especially to step of the 7 steps that we got on our website. Here they are. Step 3 is important, and step 4 is also important to see. We've been beating the IRS repeatedly for over 20 years. Step 5 is very important. Write your lawmakers about the law, and it goes hand to hand about all of this, okay? You question your authority, and you write your lawmakers, Congress members, and you file and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. This way, you safely free yourself from IRS deception, robbery, and slavery. Folks, not even once has any congressman shown Freedom Law School or any of our thousands of followers across the internet and the world who've written the congressman that we're wrong. That's right, not even once one lawmaker has been able to say, oh, you missed it. It's right here in the law. Why the people of 50 states got to file and pay income taxes? Because we don't. And they cannot show us wrong. I mean, after all, our petitions are all based on U.S. government's official legal websites, their own law. We happen to follow. You just didn't know about the law because they made this stuff deliberately confusing for you, those gobbledygook, so you just become a slave. And your county CPA tax attorney is paid by you to keep you a slave. So, folks, step 5 is my favorite part of all the steps you got to have you be free, okay? There's petitions in there. This one, for example, is about the individual income tax. These are free petitions you should write to all your Congress members, all 3 of them, okay? This is for the personal income tax. The front page is page after pages of, not too long, about maybe 15 pages of the law quoted in there perfectly, listed at the end, and attached for the congressman to read. At the end of these petitions, which are perfectly written, folks, we have this very humble language on purpose. You tell your congressman, I believe every person should pay their fair share of income taxes according to the law. I have shown you who is required to pay their fair share by following the laws of Congress and the Treasury Department interpretations of those laws, and by applying the U.S. Supreme Court, what Supreme Court considers obvious and well-established. I've shown you that, like me, most Americans are not included on a list of those who are liable to pay individual income taxes. This letter is my self-determination of my income tax liability. I declare that I am a citizen of one of the 50 states and therefore not a citizen or resident of the United States, which makes me, as defined in the Internal Revenue Code, as D.C., which makes me a non-resident alien with respect to D.C. As a non-resident alien, okay, I further declare I have no federal income effectively connected to trade or business defined in the IRC as performance of actual public office within D.C. Therefore, I'm not liable to pay any federal income tax. Straight up! Straight up! We're telling the lawmakers the law you wrote doesn't apply to me. If I'm wrong, tell me. And then we ask our congressman very simply, Hey, if I'm wrong about this stuff, let me know. And I'll look forward to your timely, specific, on-point reply. I'm going to stop the crooks in government, renegades, Bobby, who are doing this nonsense, these lies, these robbery of American people. I'm going to stop it. That's what we want, folks. Okay? So this is all for free. Every one of you can and should do the first 5 steps in our website, freedomlawschool.org, for free for yourself and family members, and no longer be a slave. Be free instead. Now, some of you will say, Peymon, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I would appreciate even more if someone like you, who knows this stuff, who has experience for decades being the IRS crooks, will be there behind me to back me up, just in case they decide to come after me as a non-filer if I don't stop paying income tax. I will feel much safer and sleep a lot better at night knowing that you're behind me. So, okay, people, that is available for you if that is what you want. The trick for you is, folks, you need to have inside you the spirit of America's founding fathers and come together and contribute to our cause of restoring freedom in America like America's founding fathers did over 200 years ago. So our Restore Freedom Plan, I invite you to join. This is for modern day founding fathers of America. And with that, the privilege of 100% guarantee is available for all of you. You could enjoy our 100% guarantee when you legally stop filing and paying income taxes, as long as you are a member of our Restore Freedom Plan. Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from labeling your money, while Freedom Law School will reimburse you, and you will definitely not go to prison relying on government-sufficient legal websites, and we pay all the attorneys. You get unlimited consultation, unlimited help. There's no risk on you at all. It's all on us. And lastly, folks, I invite you, my friends, to become a modern-day Paul Revere, yes, and tell others about us. Spread the word, okay? Freedom Law School is there, but you're the one that got to empower the American people with the truth and the law and restore freedom for American people, families. So tell other people about Freedom Law School, and we want to pay you and thank you for texting your friends our website, emailing them, on social media, give them our brochures, hand out to people, so that America can be a free country once again. With that, people, I want you to know this. I love every one of you. I really want you to be free. I just want to have fun, be like a kid, and we all have fun playing out their joy, happiness, and prosperity. But how can we have that when Americans are made poor by paying a good chunk of the money through deception to that crooked empire in Washington, D.C.? 3 out of 5 Americans are in debt to their credit cards, paying over 20% interest, slavery, tax to the international banksters, credit card companies. Folks, it's wrong. We need to stop it. And you can be key in stopping all this hurting of the American people they're doing. So please, take the time on a drive to and from work, washing dishes, doing errands, listen to our videos as you drive safely, look at the road, drive safely. When you get home at dinner or work lunch, watch our videos and listen at the same time, and empower yourself to be free and share it with others. Have your family and you be free and prosperous with joy, love, and happiness, and so can America. Thank you. Go to freedomlawschool.org to continue your road to freedom now. Okay. That was a long presentation, and normally I would be answering your questions on Unfortunately, I understand Blog Talk Radio, which we use, is down tonight. So I can only answer a couple of people's questions that in written format has sent to me. You can all of you send me up to 10 pages of your paperwork for any Freedom Hour, and I will look at it and answer it for you at no charge. I'm very busy. I get paid for my private one-on-one detailed consultation. Okay? However, here, I want to help you with as much information that helps you and others, hopefully, in similar situations like you. If Blog Talk Radio works, which we keep trying, if it does work, we'll get your questions. But meanwhile, let's see if we can get these couple of people's questions answered, okay? Let's go first to this one. In the state of Oklahoma, there's a case filed against Savory. This is a bank is suing this person. Okay, so I don't know what's even here in front of me, guys. Okay, this is a bank suing Savory. Savory, I'm not an attorney. I never went to law school. I'm self-taught. I actually know more about tax law than attorneys do out there. All the stuff I've showed you, attorneys are not taught in law school and never discovered on their own. Okay, I've taught attorneys this stuff that they said, wow, Peymon, I'm a lawyer for over 22 decades and I didn't know this stuff. Okay, so I do not represent people in court. Okay, we write the letters for you. We email it to you. You print, sign, mail out whatever letter we give you. If attorney is necessary to represent you in court, which is very rare, we'll pay for that. But this is something that we don't do. We do not deal with private company versus you, okay? Whether it's employer, bank, landlord, spouse, some other thing. This is not our specialty. So sorry about that. We help you with freedom from government tyranny, okay? So I'm sorry about that. I don't know an attorney in Oklahoma, but I can give you an attorney later on if you call our office, maybe attorney that may be able to refer you to other people. So let's see what we have here. This one, after a long letter, is something from Henrietta, from being attacked by the corrupt California franchise tax board, the most lawless, corrupt state income tax agency in America. So Henrietta has moved to Colorado. Good for you for getting out of that beautiful but communist state, which has been destroyed by the communist takeover of that state. The FTB, Franchise Tax Board, wrote Henrietta a letter in June of this year, okay, and for your 1999 and 2000, claiming that she owes them about $95,000, okay. This annual letter they send out, it says on there, we send this notice for informational purposes only for 1999 and your 2000. And they're begging you, hoping that you just might pay them some money. But they cannot force you because America is not one country. We are 50 countries in the Union. France, Germany, and Italy are countries within the European Union, and Florida, Texas, California, and all the 50 states are 50 countries within the United States, within this union. And each country is separate, and they have no legal power to go in another country of the union and impose themselves and try to take your money for the supposed taxes that any of these countries claim you owe them. No, they can only within their own borders they can collect taxes, not within the borders of the neighboring countries of this union. So, this letter, California Franchise Tax Board, is worthless. It's simple trash. I just ignore it. Trash can it. By the way, it's for year 99 and 2000, very old years. I wonder if you filed for those years, didn't pay him, or you didn't file to come after you, but FTB is such a lawless agency. They have, IRS has 10 years to collect taxes. FTB California has 20 years automatically. But it's maybe even over 20 years, but FTB still such a crooked thieves. They don't care. They just keep sending letters to you. Maybe you pay that communists in California some of your hard-earned money. Okay? Now, the letter about continue says that now, let's see. Henrietta is now a new life insurance agent in Colorado state licensing. And the license revocation regulation for non-payment of Colorado state income tax. Okay? There's a law for that. But the Colorado may be able to take your license for not paying Colorado state income taxes, but not for not paying French income taxes, or German, or Egyptian, or Mexican income taxes. Okay? So you're fine. They cannot take your license away for the state of California income tax either. So California can just pound sand, will not affect in any way your Colorado life insurance license. They cannot take it away. All right? We have no blog talk at this time, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Let's see. But we have some questions online. People are typing up, and if you can go online, type up your questions, and I'll be given the question, and I'll answer it for you this way. Is the IRS still going after non-filers? What do you mean still going after non-filers? What are you talking about? That question assumes the IRS goes after non-filers. But the IRS is not going after non-filers, my friends, okay? Let me show it to you on my screen, okay? Here. Step 3 is you realizing that the IRS is over 99% bluff, okay? Yes. This cartoon shows IRS as a big Wizard of Oz bluff to scare you by the corrupt major media who has brainwashed the American people, okay? The farmer, the lion, the scarecrow to be afraid, right? All these guys of the IRS. And they've done it by the corrupt major media and by corrupt religious preachers who tell you to be a slave, okay? So here, bottom line is this. IRS is a failed government agency. They are not as powerful as they once seemed, okay? According to the government's reports, since 2011, there has been a 90% decrease in forced collections or levies. 90% plus! Yes. Since 2016, the IRS has deliberately chosen to leave repeated non-filers alone. That's right. They stopped their automated coming after the non-filers in large numbers, in somewhat of a large numbers. You know, they stopped it completely. Some agents here and they may come across you, but those are very, very rare, okay? And the reason is because for every $1 that the IRS spends on filers, the IRS collects over $300, okay? Whereas for the same $1 IRS spent on non-filers, the IRS collects only under $3. Well, IRS spends same dollar, they get a lot more money, over 100 times more, when they come out to filers versus non-filers. So that's why they have to focus on on filers. So with that, yes, IRS is leaving non-filers alone. Okay. And you say, what if they take the access out of my 401k? Guys, you're assuming again. What if they're not gods? This is not some communist dictatorship like Venezuela. They just come take your stuff. Or Cuba. This is America. You have a right to a trial before they take your stuff. The reason the belief is there that the IRS can just take your stuff is because these CPAs, accountants, even most tax attorneys who pretend to know the tax laws, they don't know it. So when they could challenge the IRS for you, they don't. Number one, they sold you down the river by having you fill out a 1040 confession form, put the rope around your neck, and hand it to the IRS, put the burden of proof on you, number one. Number two, accountants and CPAs do not know how to petition tax court, for example. I know how to do it. I've done it, okay, successfully, but they don't. So they just don't do it, and you lose your trial by default, by not even asking for it. That's assuming, and you can afford an attorney, maybe he can do it, but most people cannot afford a tax attorney out there, period, right? That's why. So no, they will not take it for a 1K, okay? If you want, you can just join our Restore Freedom Plan, and we'll make sure that will not happen, and we'll reimburse you if that would happen. Now, also, someone else, Cruiser, asked, if you sign up for this, are you protected for your previous years? The answer is no. I cannot protect you when you, with someone else's system, filed a 1040 confession form, put rope around your neck, and gave it to the IRS. How can I protect you against that? You should not put a rope around your neck. With me, Freedom Law School, you will not have a rope around your neck. You preserve your right to challenge the IRS in a trial, and we'll know how to do it. We'll do it, we'll beat them. And even if we were to lose, there's so many non-felons out there, huge numbers. If you lose one case out of 1,000, big deal with the other 999 people. We can pay that guy's taxes in full, and we will. You'll be whole and safe again. So no problem for you at all. Yes, you will be protected. Now, Deplorable C asked that he or she received a notice to file his 2022 tax form immediately. What does immediately mean? To respond in 30 days, 10 days. By the way, I'm not filing a tax return, but I do need to respond somehow. No. You don't need to respond to that dumb computer generated canned letter, folks. They're dumb. This is garbage. Look at the letter you got. There's no name of anybody on there. No one's original signature. It's just a dumb computer that just sends out these letters by thousands and thousands or larger en masse. And you get the letter. You think, the IRS, someone caught up with me. He watched me. He noticed me. He wrote me a letter that says, I need to file my tax return immediately. I was up in big trouble. Oh my gosh, what do I do? What does it mean immediately? They deliberately send those dumb computer-generated letters en masse because they know. You see IRS's emblem and symbol and address, you just scares you. And you're just going to call them. And the person on the phone will tell you, you go to prison. We take all your stuff, bank account, paycheck, everything you got if you don't file. Be a good little sheep slave. Don't get in trouble, stupid idiot. And then, if you don't call them, you just on your own go to an accountant, CPA, say, IRS caught up with me. Oh, I'm in trouble. Oh my gosh, could you help me minimize the trouble? IRS found out about me. I don't want to be in trouble with the IRS. Would you please help me fill out a 1040 income tax slavery confession form? I'll be back being a slave, please. So IRS doesn't put me in prison. Take everything I got. You just ignore that letter. What you do is file 13, trash it. Okay? They're playing game on you. Okay? Okay, go to our 7 steps. You'll learn why you don't need to be afraid of the IRS at freedomlawschool.org. Now, Kelly says your chart says 88 people were sentenced in 2021 for not filing 1040 income tax forms. How does this organization get away with such blatant deceit, mismanagement, and violation of taxpayer rights? What organization? What are you talking about? Okay, we don't get away with nothing. There's nothing to get away, okay? What you gotta know, the person asking the question is this. Everything Freedom Law School says is this. We want everybody to follow the law. We are sticklers for the law. Absolutely sticklers. We tell everybody, number one, step on to follow the law. And we say it's based upon the official legal websites of U.S. government that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. Not my opinion. No, siree. The official legal websites of U.S. government say that. Now, to start, here, you can see the proof in this 9-minute video right here, and you can start your journey to live free now of IRS deception, fear, robbery, and slavery. Start right here first. This is just step one. I just covered step two for you, okay? And then if you're not convinced, that's okay, because it's a short 9-minute video. There's 4 more short videos on the topic of income and Social Security taxes, okay? And then each of these 5 videos, there's the complete, more detailed videos of them right here below them, okay? These are complete videos. You can watch those further. Absolutely, I'm telling you, we insist that you follow the law, and so should our public servants in government, the crooks, the IRS management, the IRS lawyers, the Department of Injustice lawyers, and double crooked judges who are deliberately ignoring the law, ignoring their oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they themselves have become the enemies of the U.S. Constitution, American people, domestic enemies of the American people and the Constitution. They need to stop. Congress has oversight powers and duties, needs to go and stop these crooks. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing is all about, is restoring America to freedom, make sure everybody follows the law and the Constitution, the American people and our public servants in government. All right, we have some more questions here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, and let's see. You cannot go, their paperwork says you cannot go to court until after you pay them. Well, I don't know what paperwork you're talking about, Miss Tiffany. Okay, without reading the paperwork, I don't know what they do, but that's not true. Okay, if you're past the assessment stage of taxes, you didn't challenge them in tax court or collection due process hearing, in that case, you must pay them in full, sue for a refund. But if you do it like Freedom Law School does, properly and correctly, challenge them in tax court or collection due process hearing first now, you can beat them without paying a tax in full. Okay? All right? We got more questions now. If you sell your home, is there a 3% tax on the profits? No, there is not. The communist state of California, because so many people have been getting out of that communist state over 20 years ago, passed the law that if you sell your home in California and it's not your primary residence, any real estate is not your primary residence, that they would withhold, I think it's 2.5% of the gross proceeds of the sale to make sure that you pay income taxes on the sale of your home. Because Californians, even back then, 20 plus years ago, were just selling the home out of California, get the heck out of the communist state and not pay income tax on the sale of the real estate. So that's the only one like that I know that exists. All right? Let's see. How much is consultation with me? It is $1,000 an hour, but with other tax experts I have that I've trained, it's only $300. So it's a lot less with them than myself because there's only one of me. But if those guys can't handle it, I'll jump in there, make sure you take care of. So my experts I've trained, they do a great job for you. So it's to make it more affordable for you guys at $300 an hour. Okay? Let's see. Where did the figure 80 million non-files come from that Peymon said earlier? That's 25% of the population. Great question. I'm so glad you asked. It's right here. Let me get it for you. It's in our step 3. IRS is over 99% bluff. You go in there. You go continue to step 3. Okay. You go in there. You scroll down on this page. Okay. And there is more. Saying this, this is one of the 7 reasons why the IRS is leaving non-files alone. And the actual document is always documented. Everything I say is documented. Their own documents. It's right here. See proof here, okay? You see this paragraph right below the black thing here? There it is. And let's see, it's coming up. Here it is. I'm going to make it big for you. The real paper tiger is the IRS. Here we go. Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, Washington, D.C., September 24th, 1998, to Mr. Dwan Abel in Oregon, right? So, second paragraph of the letter, what does it say? Based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate. They don't know. They're guessing. It's an estimate only. There are approximately 63 million taxpayers who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. Yeah. And this estimate is based on data information available to the service, IRS, on the individual master file. Yeah, they have your W-2 and 1099 forms. That's what they're talking about. That's the information they have. But they don't use it. They don't use it. Okay? IRS is based upon suckering you to believe. I believe. If I don't file, IRS will put me in prison. I'll be a martyr. They'll take my bank account. Paycheck. I'll be on the streets. I believe it. After decades in my head. Yes, so I'll be a slave. So I will not become a victim of the IRS. There it is. All right. Let's go to the chat. By the way, 63 million now. That was back in 96. Population of the United States have increased. So it's about 80, maybe 85 million non-filers now. Okay? That's just based upon their numbers and how the American population has gone up. Now, Chambers says, you skipped my question. Do you file exempt or continue to pay and just not file? I'm glad you asked. Another very good question. Let's get to our website again, folks, okay? This time we're going to go to right on our front page of our website. On the right, okay, on top left area, free yourself of withholding, the third thing, okay? Open that tab up. On this page, I show you, on this one, how to free yourself from income tax withholding legally and safely. You do exempt under pressure, under duress, because the employer forces you. If you don't file W-4 form, I will not hire you even. So they force you to fill that out to get a job. Employers in America has been duped and deceived and coerced to require you to be a slave of the IRS before they hire you. So do not just do W-4 exam on your own. Follow our instructions. We have a sample form here, okay, on this page, okay, and how to do it properly. It's at the bottom of the page. I have to read all this, okay, and with the language, okay, is on there. Property is there for you. That we have the law quoted and attached. Okay, is that it? No, that's not it. Here we go. With the law on this W-4 exempt form, get that attached. Okay, there it is. So the crooks will never even think about trying to put you in prison for stopping a so-called automatic withholding from paycheck that all slaves, the American slaves, pay to the IRS. Okay, so that's what you want to do, my friend. Okay, it's for free, all for free for you to do. Okay, you got any more questions on there? Put up my screen, guys, and I'll take more questions you guys have. So yes, you can go on Rumble and these platforms, type your questions, I'll answer them for you. Okay. I know you answered, but let's see. Let me see. But I want him to answer me. Well, I answered you, I hope. Okay. Many things now require tax filing information to qualify, like a credit card, or even a job, or house loan, apartment. How do you get around this if you don't file? Wait a minute. I've applied for credit card for, I don't know, over 20 years. I never had to give a tax return to get a credit card. Are you kidding me? You just go to travel with airlines, any airline, American, United, Southwest, they give you a credit card. Please fill it out, give it to us right now. We give you a credit card. You don't need that. So come on, who told you this? A bunch of lies. To get an apartment? Tax return? Are you kidding me again? Now, I do know if you want to apply for communist, socialist, Section 8 housing that the federal government pays for U.S. slaves to pay part of your rent, for that to make sure that you are good little low-income slave of the government, you bring us your slavery 1040 confession form, so we give you that slave break for low-income slaves. That's the only time the department people ask for tax return. You have no right to ask your private tax information. Okay? All right, let's make the questions bigger so I can read them easier. Okay? Fully. It's okay. So, as far as buying a home, you can get a home without tax return. Although, most mortgage loan agents and most banks will not lend you money without a tax confession form because they don't know. They're incompetent. The more experienced mortgage loan agents, they know how to do it. They did it back then in early 80s when I was a young home loan mortgage agent, and to this day they do it now. But I'm telling you, do not buy real estate right now. We're set up for another Great Depression, like the 2008 Great Depression. Real estate is at the top of the market. The crash is coming. This is not the time to buy a home. Sell your real estate home if you got it. Get the cash. Get into gold and crypto. Sit tight. Wait for the crash and then buy cheap at the bottom of the market. Okay? I predicted the 2008 crash before it happened. I told you guys because I was economics and finance major at California University. Got my degree in business. I knew this stuff. I was taught about this in college, university. So don't buy a home right now or real estate anyways. Sell any real estate you have right now except your primary residence if you plan to stay there for a long time. Okay? All right. Let's see. How far back can they go on audit? For filers, they can go up to 6 years, okay, on audits, okay? And so for non-filers, technically they can go back on a non-filer for forever, but they're leaving non-filers alone anyways. It doesn't matter. They're leaving non-filers alone. Doesn't matter what the law technically allows them. It just doesn't happen. Almost never they come after non-filers now, like that many times, that much. It's the filers that focus on. They pick on your tax confession form. It's easy to do. Okay? I remember, in fact, you know what? I'll tell you about that later. Let's just go more questions, what you guys got here. Okay. Anyway, to claim tax credits for solar installation without filing? Nope. They have all these games, okay, to encourage you to be a slave, okay? So yeah, you have to file the confession form to get those breaks on the 1040 form. Sorry about that. I completed your membership form online. Is the membership rate showing a one-time fee? Of course not, folks. It's an annual membership you got to pay. Look, our Restore Freedom Plan is simple. Whether you pay the IRS $10,000 or $1 million a year, doesn't matter. Don't pay the crooks and evil people in D.C., your enemies. Keep 70% of that $10,000 you would have paid the crooks in D.C., or of the $1,700,000, you keep it. It's your money. The other 30%, give to our Restore Freedom Plan, and we will protect you 100%. We do the petition to Congress for you. We give you unlimited consultation, all your questions answered. As things in life change, we assist you make right decisions about anything relating to taxes, employers, selling a home, opening a new business. We help you do it all, right? If the IRS ever comes after you, we do all the work for you. Okay, the letters are sent to you to print, sign, mail out. If a professional like an attorney is necessary, we get him, we pay him, not you, you pay nothing. We fight for you. Even if we were to not win, they take your money, 10,000 or 10 million. It doesn't matter. We'll reimburse you in full. So everybody, every year, contributes to Restore Freedom Plan. The more protection you need, the more you got to contribute. If the IRS is after you for $1 million, potentially, there's more you got to contribute than the guy that the IRS can potentially come after him for only $10,000, right? So that guy pays less than the guy that makes more money. It's every year membership fee, okay? Because that guarantee we give you, lifetime 100% guarantee, requires that for us to do it sound and safely and properly. Somebody lives in California. I feel sorry for you, my friend. To avoid the California mafia, do you recommend only filing state income taxes? Yep. You live in California, yeah, you don't plan to leave anytime soon. You're stuck there because your relatives, family members are there. The company you work is there. Your high wage paid employee is there. You know, you're with a good paying company. You know, you cannot leave. Yeah, pay state income tax because California is so corrupt, lawless, aggressive, and well organized. They're more organized and corrupt than any other state income tax agency, and make the IRS look like good old little 2-year-old boy playing out in the yard by himself, as opposed to the mafia. So yes, I recommend that for you if you don't plan on leave California soon. Hopefully you leave that crooked communist California and you'll be fine and free, like I did over 10 years ago. Discovering stopped my credit until I gave him a tax information. Okay, so what? So what? Get another one. Okay? Look, I got credit cards. Airlines give it to you. Gas station, everybody gives out your credit card. You know, go give your business to somebody else. It's not, you know, you don't have to give credit business to these crooks, right? Just let them do it. In fact, I got one also. I got one with a credit union, Penn Fed Credit Union, okay? And they wanted my tax information. I said, oh, you're a daggone business. You want to cancel my credit card? Don't get my business? Fine, you don't get it. Let the airlines get my credit card business, right? The airlines beg for your credit card. You travel, all the airlines want you to apply for a credit card, right? You can do that easy, right? Not a problem. Gas stations too. Everybody, retail outlets, we can apply with them. No problem. Okay, does it change year? Okay, let's see. We got another question. I try to rent an apartment and they ask for my tax information. I covered that. Okay? Okay, for Section 8 housing, they ask for your tax information. Okay? If they want your tax return, says it's not your business. I'm going to go someplace else. Go someplace else. Everybody doesn't ask your tax information. Okay? You don't have to do business with people, folks, that are crooks and criminals and thieves that are in the business. You have choices out there. Go somebody else. Okay? All right. Does it change year to year depending on finances? Even your membership in Restore Freedom Plan, does it change year to year? Yes, it does. Okay. Yes, it does change year by year, depending on your job. Okay. If you are a wage earner and you make about the same, let's say you make $80,000 a year every year, your membership would be the same, because remember, your membership is 30% of which you would have paid the IRS. This is what you would have paid the IRS. So if that stays the same because your income and situation is the same, your 30% membership also stays the same. But if you're a business owner, okay, investor, got rentals, real estate, businesses, your income goes up and down. You know, you got a great year and bad year. Your membership also goes, because what you owe the IRS will go up and down. One year you pay more, next year you pay less perhaps. So it depends again on what you otherwise would have, through deception, paid your enemies in the federal government, which has been taken over by your enemies. Okay? All right. Any more questions online? Blog Talk is not working, unfortunately, still. And we answer everyone's questions online. Fantastic. I'm glad we're able to help you guys. All right. Well, give me one of our brochures, guys, to show people, to hand out to people. They have a brochure of us from law school. We got a Restore Freedom plan, Restore Freedom brochure. We got one. I'm going to show people. Do we have one, guys? No? Remember, folks, be in it for yourself to be free. Yep, here we go. And for the American people, okay? Here, we'll send you for free our Restore Freedom Plan brochures. Yep. As many as you want. Just contact us. On the back, it says, no law requires 98% of Americans to file and pay income and payroll taxes. Our website is listed there. QR code is there. Phone number is there. Open it up. The 7 steps to be free is there. You see that? To be free of IRS deception, fear, robbery, slavery is there. Okay? So, and in here in this bottom part, put your name and phone number, or call us. We give you a 7-digit private number. Put it on there. When they contact us and when they join, we'll ask them, how did you hear about us? And if it was a brochure, you hand that out to your friends, family members, or in front of the supermarkets to people. Hey, defund the swamp, restore freedom. Don't have to pay income tax to crooks. Keep all your money, be free, whatever. Somebody takes it from you and says, interesting. I'll check it out. They join, we'll pay you half or 50% of that person's first year membership. If the membership for first year is only the minimum, $2,000, you get $1,000. The membership is, let's say, $1 million for the first year, you get half of that, $500,000. Very simple formula. Let's go to more questions. Okay. So ignore them and wait to see if anything else comes from it. Yep, you can do that. Do that. That's right. Because I cover that in my step 3. Let's get my thing up, please. I gotta bring up step 3. IRS cannot come after non-filers. One of the reasons is because they have only 31 U.S. tax court judges. That's right. 31 U.S. tax court judges. So if you ask for trial, your trial may be 10, 20, 30 years away for 1 or 2 years to come after you. Here, look at this website right on my screen. Here it is. It is impossible for the 31 U.S. tax court judges to go after, have trial for 88 million non-filers. Okay? So IRS knows that. Okay? That's why the IRS simply leaves you alone. They just cannot handle enough, don't have enough judges. So they just try to deceive you, scare you. Be scared with our dumb computer-generated letters. Does it work? No? Here's a follow-up letter. We wrote you before. You didn't file. You should file now, immediately. It's your second warning. Are you scared enough yet? Okay? So that is their system. You can ignore the letters. You're fine. Okay? All right, let's go to more questions. We got our thing here. Where's the other questions? We had a thing on there, right? We had a thing. One more person with question was on there. You got it for me? On Rumble. Let's bring the questions up. Here we go. So, again, how far can they go back and audit? I said technically for non-filers forever, but they don't. Nobody keeps records. Nobody keeps records. For non-filers, if they come after you after 6, 7, 8 years because they destroy the files for filers, anything they may have on non-filers, they also destroy. So they destroy the record. After 7 years, 7 to 10 years, everything that IRS may have is destroyed. So they leave non-filers alone, basically. But filers, they can go up to 6 years, and they come after filers. Remember, filers are easy to pick on their 1040 forms. Okay? Okay. Now you say that some jobs require you to also get a tax return. Well, if the job requires a tax return, get another job. Work for somebody else. I never had a job that they told me to show a tax return before I hire you. Now I imagine some federal contractors may do that. I've heard about that. So don't work for the federal government. Don't be a federal contractor, okay? Work for a private thing, okay? That's all it is. I mean, come on. Let's not support the swamp. Don't work for the federal government or one of the contractors that insist we have an obligation as federal contractors, slaves of the federal government. We pay our fair share, and we got to make sure that you are a slave too. Are you a slave? Let me see your last slavery confession form before we hire you. We are a bunch of communists, slaves. We want to make sure you're a slave communist also. Otherwise, we don't want to hire you. So you tell them, good. I don't want to work for communists and crooks and make you money either. Okay? All right, let's go to more questions. Somebody says own nothing, control everything. If I ignore the letters, the 100% tax I'm already paying. Let's see. On balloon, okay, this is going to make it a little bit, there's more here. I'm able to read on this page. Her question. I'm paying on balloon will for over 300 and 500% penalty against my property for using my own money. I'm not sure what that sentence says. Please clarify, Miss Tiffany. I don't understand this sentence you're saying. All right. Is there any way to claim solar claim and installation tax credits for? I told you, no, you got to file. If you want the look, you got the solar deal, and I know the solar deal on that. Oh, you get a tax benefit, a credit. Let me ask you. So, do you rather be a slave, file a confession form? Normally, you would pay the IRS, for example, let's say $50,000. And now you got a solar credit of $20,000. You only pay the IRS $30,000. What a deal. You want to claim that credit and pay the IRS $30,000 instead of $50,000? Or you can, with Freedom Law School, instead of $30,000, join our Restore Freedom Plan and keep up that $30,000. $21,000 is yours to keep, and contribute $9,000 to our Restore Freedom Plan, and we will 100% protect you completely from the IRS. The choice is yours to make. All right. Oh, what happened? Let's go to the right question. Where was it now, the right question? You take me to the right question, guys. Sorry. My helpers are taking the right question that is being asked, okay? I'll make sure all your questions get answered, my friends. How do I send a question to be read and answered here on the channel? I guess on Rumble, I guess you go on, you can comment. I guess you can go comment on the channel, right? I'm not a take-it guy, unfortunately, to tell you honestly, but you got to go on there on rumble.com. There's a live chat thing there to do that. As far as I know. Sorry about that. I wish I could tell you. Okay. All right, let's go to more questions. Let's see. Well, there's a lot of questions here. Okay. All right. I know okay. Manhattan is building more luxurious condos. Okay, let's go. Does the FL plan yearly fee change year to year? I answered that. Okay, Kelly Sunshaw says, I made money in 2021, but almost nothing since then. The membership is expensive based on what I made in 2021, but right now I don't make that much. Can you work with me? Yes. Your membership for 2021 will be whatever it should be, whether it's $5,000 or $50,000, I don't know. Okay, it's a regular rate. But for other years, the minimum membership is only $2,000. Okay? So, yes, for the off years, you must pay minimum $2,000 a year to maintain your membership. Okay? Because you get what? You get unlimited consultation, unlimited help, and in case something comes up, we cover you. Okay? We just can't have people join for some years and not join some other years. It just gets too complicated. It won't work. That's why we have the minimum of $2,000, even for people like you, to maintain membership in off years. And listen, when you don't pay the swamp the income tax, keep 70% and give us 30% to join, the 70% you join, save some of that, folks. Put in a rainy day fund. I know you want to pay off your credit cards, and you should. Spend some of it, enjoy it, you should. Eat better food, you should. But save some of that for the bad years to take care of yourself and maintain your membership with the Restore Freedom Plan as well. Okay? So how do you calculate what our membership will be? All right, I'll have to show it to you on our website. Okay, here, I'll bring it up. Go to freedomlawschool.org. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, here we go. On the top center is application. Click on the application in the top center, takes you right there. You agree to the terms. Basically, you read it, and I'm telling you, by clicking, you agree, you acknowledge, you have carefully reviewed our 7 steps. You should. You should be knowledgeable. You should know what the heck you're doing. I want you to please take your time to understand things. And then you can proceed and agree to terms and conditions, which you should read also. But let's assume you've done that. You say, I agree, move on. Let's do one right here for 2023, for example. You haven't filed. You ask for extension. I'm going to put a dummy number for you. Let's suppose your marital status is, let's say, married. Okay? Is your spouse joining you? Usually yes, say yes, but sometimes no. Your spouse sometimes doesn't want to join. Okay? Enter the combined income. Okay? Now, employment income or W-2. How much you and your wife made as a, well, let's say that your spouse made, for example, one of you made $50,000, okay? All right? You have business income. Well, let's say the other spouse with their own business. I'm putting some sample. Okay? So your membership is only $4,000. Okay? That's how you do it. The more generally you make, the more potentially the amount you pay, the more what you pay the swamp would be, right? The more you get to save, and the more your membership. The less you pay the swamp in income taxes and payroll taxes, right? The less you get to save, and your membership would be less. All right, and then after that, you continue to the next step, and then all that stuff is done for you. Okay? So let's go now to the next questions. How many of your clients do they go after each year on the average? You're going to be shocked to hear this. I told you, IRS is leaving non-filers alone. People come to us clean. They stop filing income tax with us. And how many people that come after us clean? They come after, so far, 0. I'm telling you, to leave your non-files alone. You don't have to join our Restore Freedom Plan. We just give you peace of mind and protection, back you up, and you give your money to a cause of the future for you and your children, for America to be free. But yet they live non-files alone. But I do have people that come to me from previous years. They filed confession forms. I was just auditing them, okay? And I was auditing them, and now I help those guys with their previously filed return situation the best I can. Well, from now on, they're going to be completely free. I charge them extra, of course, for helping them with their pre-existing tax problem they got from previous years. Okay? All right, we got still more questions. Let's see what we got here. S. Diamond. Been a property manager for 20 years. All they need is proof of income. It doesn't have to be a tax return. Thank you for your answer to the other person who says that they want a tax return from me. No, they don't. You can just, any proof of income will do. They just want to know you can pay the rent. That's all it is. The landlord just want to get paid. Okay? Now, someone else says, if and when banks switch over to CDs, how will Freedom Law School help prevent potential automatic bank deducts by the Fed under this authoritarian control? Guess what? That will not happen. Cannot happen. Okay? CBCDs cannot happen because the fact is this. You don't know this. They're forced. Money used to be in America gold and silver. Okay? Until 1960s. For a $20 bill, you would get a 1 ounce of gold coin. That's right. Until 1930s, 33, this represented a receipt for a 1 ounce of gold coin. Until 1964, this $1 was a receipt for a 1 ounce of silver. Okay? Now, they forced this on us, these Federal Reserve notes, as legal tender. You have to accept it in payment of debts. You cannot say, I just want gold. I will not take your cash. He said, nope. Once to pay for the debts, you know, you've been paid. You have to accept the paper, not demand gold and silver. Now, so these $100 bills, yep, they cannot get rid of this by law. Okay? So they cannot force it on you. What they're doing is they got rid of big bills, $500 bills and $1,000 bills were around in 1970s, and they were worth 10 times of today. A $1,000 bill was worth $10,000 in today's money. You could have bought $1 million home with $100,000 bills, you know, of the value. You had done this cash. In 1930s, 40s, and 50s, they had also 10,000 and $100 bills also because they represented gold. You take them away. Now they're leaving you no choice but use banks, debit cards and credit cards. They're forcing you into banking. We already have cashless society. Whenever you go, you don't use cash at grocery store, at stores. You're helping get rid of cash. Minimize the use of credit cards and use cash. Okay. Now at some point we plan to sue the federal government for not printing money anymore. And guess what? You joining Restore Freedom Plan will help us fund that litigation to challenge all this nonsense about them getting rid of the big bills and forcing you to give you all information, open a bank account, or they close your bank account, or give you ID every time you want to deposit money in the bank account. All this nonsense of control, they're going to be challenged. But there will be no CBCDs by law. Because otherwise, if they get rid of the bills, guess what? They have to go back to gold and silver. Yes. Technically on paper, gold and silver are still legal tender, except no one's going to spend gold and silver because an ounce of gold is worth about $2,400. They'd rather use cash. Okay? That's why. So don't worry about CBCDs And I cover this in one of my seminars, by the way, Freedom Rallies, that topic in more detail. So don't worry about that. All right, what's the next question we got here? I covered how to determine annual fee for joining. How anyone paying only state and not federal income tax. I only recommend paying the state of California. Maybe if you're the aggressive states, you don't have to. I mean, I'm telling you, you don't have to. But if you're an employee, you work for an employer in California, like UPS or FedEx or something, you're not going to leave the state. They just ignore all the law and the rights. They ignore the law. They ignore the law. They're lawless. They're communist, like Cuba, Venezuela, some African Asian dictatorship. Got it? And California franchise taxpayer can by force go to your employer or bank, say, give me his money, otherwise I'll blow your head off. So that's why. If you live in California, don't want to file income tax, hallelujah, I'm for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm just saying, if you get exposed, you're gonna take your money. Leave the state, then they cannot touch you. Okay. All right. How many of our students, by the way, field law doesn't have clients? I have no clients. People say clients. No, I have no clients. I have 0 clients. I'm not in this to make you, anybody else, more money. My main motivation is to have America be a free country. I came from Iran. We had no freedoms. Criticize the government, exercise your right to have a voice in government. You can be thrown in jail, disappeared for weeks or months, tortured, summary trial maybe, execution. Yeah. I don't want America to become like where I came from in Iran in the 70s. So the byproduct of trying to defund the swamp and restore freedom is you're going to get to keep 70% of what you paid the IRS, or 100% if you want to do it on your own, which you can do it on your own if you want to, okay? So they have no clients. I have only students because I want you to learn about the law and your rights. As Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers, said, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free, they expect something which never have or never will be. You got to become educated as an independent, sovereign, free, independent thinking adult. In a public school system, government schools, even private schools, you are raised ignorant of your rights on purpose, not your fault. Now, if from now on you stay ignorant, now that is your fault. You chose to stay ignorant if you don't educate yourself. At Freedom Law School, I'll give you all the tools to educate yourself. Your rights, easy to understand. As you drive, wash the dishes, do errands, you can just listen and learn. That's what I did when I was in my 20s. My early 20s, when I was going to college, I had a job, okay, delivering business cards. In the car, I played audio tape or something educational to feed my brain, right? You can do the same if you want to or not. So, how many of our students they go after? I told you, none. They're not coming after people who don't file. So it's the truth. You can do it on your own if you want to. Be free, right? I haven't filed in 4 years. I filed state. Okay, good. You haven't filed for the IRS, brother. S. Diamond. That's great. I have a friend. Oh, Kelly says I have a friend who's a retired doctor and hasn't filed a return for 11 years. His accountant claims the IRS is after him. I told him to talk to you first. Good job. By the way, he took the IRS 11 years. 11 years? As a non-filer to catch up with him, maybe? I help him out still. Good. So have him call me, Kelly Sunshaw. And when he joins, you'll be rewarded for turning him on to Freedom Law School. You're going to get 50% of his first year membership, which you deserve. You deserve that. For telling him about us. If you kept your mouth shut and saying, oh, none of my friends and relatives are interested. They're all scared. They all think I'm crazy. They think I'm a conspiracy theorist. They all roll their eyes at me. If you let that negative mentality get to you, you will not tell anybody about us. You will not help anybody to be free. But because you're letting your love of truth, wisdom, and people guide you and tell them about Freedom Law School, you're going to get rewarded. Live and let live, love and let love. Let's grow, win-win together. All right? Thank you, Kelly. We'll be happy to help work with you, my friend. All right. What is the process to pay state and not paid federal income tax? Well, like in California, it's simple. California says file a federal tax return. Take the number from the IRS of how much your income was. Put that on the California 540 individual income tax and take it from there to figure out how much you paid state of California. So fill out the federal form, but don't use it. Don't sign it. Do not send it to the IRS. Just use it to fill out the California form. Okay? Very simple. All right. All right. Kelly says, I'll tell lots of people about Freedom Law School is in my crypto education program. Many won't believe me. Well, Kelly, tell you what, Kelly, thanks for sharing that. That's exactly why, Kelly. What I did in step 2, I put the crypto stuff on there. Let's see, where's our 7 steps? Where's the 7 steps disappeared? We're on the front page. There we go. I gotta go here. Okay, fine. Step 2. Okay. That's why, Kelly, what I did, I put this on there. In step 2, avoid the IRS crypto trap. Digital assets question. At any time, did you receive the award payment for property or services or sale exchange or otherwise dispose of a digital asset or financial interest in a digital asset? Yes or no? They get you. Get them with this. This is how, Kelly, you get your crypto friend. By the way, we got a brochures on this issue. Call us. Oh, man, we got to have those crypto brochures here, guys, to tell people. We made a special brochure, Kelly, for the big Bitcoin event in Tennessee a few weeks ago. And a nice, big, beautiful one that has us on there. You take that, pass it to your crypto people in person, and you can text them or email them this page, okay? And they're going to say, oh, man, how do I get out of this yes or no question? Okay, tell me, because I don't want to be screwed by the IRS one way or another. All right? So keep going, Kelly. You're on the right track, lady. And some of your friends attended the Bitcoin conference? Well, ask them. Did you go across Freedom Law School's booth? Because guess what, Kelly? They had over 300 exhibitors at the Bitcoin event in Nashville, and we were the biggest, the busiest of anybody out there. We're so busy. Luckily, our next door neighbor exhibitors had nothing going on at all. So we practically took over. We stood in front of their tables and answered people's questions. This group and that group and that group and that group. We all giving them answers and educating them. So ask them if they were there and saw us. Okay. All right. Now, Loosely Sketch says, I'm eager to stop paying my federal income taxes. There is no my. There is no my federal income taxes. You never owed it. In your mind, change that. There's no my taxes. You never owed it in the first place. What you should say is, I'm eager to stop paying federal income taxes I never legally owed in the first place. Of course, I'm skeptical like the rest of us slaves. Do I just need to withhold from my taxes on my W-2? No, what you need to do is go to our website, okay? Go to step 1. That's how do we get back, okay? Let's go to step 1, start 7 steps, okay? Take the 7 steps, okay, to free yourself from IRS slavery with these 7 steps, okay? Follow the laws of step 1, okay? Follow the step 2 I just covered, okay? Is stop filing income tax forms. I covered that issue a little bit, okay? And then this page. So go step by step on our website to be free. Okay? All right, Kelly, you want to work at our next conference? I think we can do a lot more together. Kelly, call our office, and let's work on contacting your friends, your crypto friends you got, okay? We'll work with you on that. Let's see, because that's how you're going to get your 50% on your own, not with us, okay? If I do it, I get the 50% if I reach people through all these videos, everything I do. But if you do it, you get the 50%. It's only fair. Okay, because if you do the work, you should get paid for it. If I'm doing the work, I get paid for it, right? So we'll support you every way we can, though. All right. Lucy Sketched is happy to change wording from here on. You are welcome, my friend. I'm happy for you, brother. All right. I think that's it. No more questions. We have so thank you guys for your patience, for asking questions online. Sorry, the blog talk's still not working. No. But I'll be back with you next week. Remember, folks, the answer is what? Your love of truth. Your love of truth shall set you free. If you love the truth, you will make the time on your drive to and for work to listen to our videos while you drive safely. You will make the time while you wash your dishes or doing errands or whatever passive activity you're doing. Put our videos up, listen, educate yourself.